Hello students, how are you all keeping? I hope you are all safe and staying at home. Take care of yourself and your family. Okay, so for class 10 children, we are still doing the first book, The First Flight, and I am taking up a new poem, A Tiger in the Zoo by Leslie Norris. Before I start the poem, I want to tell you certain hard facts. Everywhere, you must have done your lessons in history, French Revolution and everything. Everyone wants freedom. No one wants to be a slave. People do not want themselves to be kept in chain. There are people who talk about ending slavery. They talk about why people should be free. But we human beings, do we think what we are doing with the nature and our animals? That is what I want to tell you. We talk about freedom, but we keep our animals in chain. Same with A Tiger in the Zoo. Through this poem, I want to tell you that human beings, for their entertainment, just because they want to see a live tiger, they make the tiger stay in the zoo, and people, they go and visit the zoo and enjoy. They don't even think that what the tiger must be feeling inside the cage. He's supposed to be a very brave animal, chivalrous, full of strength, mighty, and then we have kept him in a cage. So what we preach, we do not practice. In the poem, we see the agony of the tiger. The poem, we have to imagine, it's a beautiful imagery. We have to imagine the tiger inside the cage, in the zoo, and when it is in the jungle. What does the tiger do when it is in the jungle? And what does it do when it is inside a cage? The jungle is the forest, the jungle is his natural habitat. He is free to roam here and there, hunt his prey and live his life like a majesty. But inside the cage, he is at the mercy of the zoo authorities, the people, and he is not able to do whatever he wants to do because he is captured. And this is due to all human beings. He is a victim of human cruelty. So let's start with the chapter. This poem contrasts a tiger in the zoo with a tiger in its natural habitat. The poem moves from the zoo to the jungle and back again to the zoo. That's what I was telling, that we have to imagine two stages. Read the poem silently once and say which stanzas speak about the tiger in the zoo and which one speaks about the tiger in the jungle. That we will know as we read. He stalks in his vivid stripes the few steps of his cage, on pads of velvet quiet, in his quiet rage. Now in the first stanza, the poet wants to tell us he stalks. What do you mean by stalks? Stalks means, as in literal meaning, it is follow somebody. Slowly. So he stalks in his vivid stripes. Tiger have stripes on their body. So he slowly walks in the cage as if it is following someone. The few steps of his cage, it's not a big one. So he's just walking through the cage slowly on pads of velvet quiet. His paws are soft as velvet. That is why pads of velvet quiet in his quiet rage. He is very helpless. He is very angry because he is kept in a cage. So although he is not doing anything, but quietly he is not happy. He is in a very angry mood. So here we are talking of quiet rage. Two different emotions. Okay. So when different emotions are used, quiet rage, the figure of speech is oxymoron. First stanza, we are seeing the tiger in the cage in the zoo. Second stanza, he should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass near the water hole where plump deer pass. If he had been in his natural surrounding, what would he be doing? He should be lurking in shadow, sliding through the long grass. He would have been moving in the long grass, okay, near the water hole. Why near the water hole? So that other animals would come to drink water and he could catch them and eat. So in his natural surrounding, what he would have been doing? He should be lurking in shadow, sliding through the long grass near the water hole where the plump deer pass. He would have come to the water hole where the plump, fat deer come to drink water. That is the favorite haunt of the tiger. Okay? And remember one thing. Have you noticed the poet uses he for tiger? So, the figure of speech is personification. He for tiger, where human traits are used for non-living thing. He should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge, baring his white fangs, his claws, terrorizing the village. Otherwise, what he would have been doing? He should be snarling. Snarling means taking out loud noise. Snarling is another figure speech onomatopoeia where you can hear the sound words snarling. He should be snarling around houses at the jungle edge. He would have come around the houses which were close vicinity of a village and at the jungle edge, baring his white fangs, showing his white teeth and his claws, terrorizing the village, terrorizing the people of the village. He would have come. And remember, even the tigers don't attack if they are not provoked. But now the second and third stanza tells us what this tiger would have been doing if he was left in the forest. We come back to the fourth stanza now. But he's locked in a concrete cell, his strength behind bars. He is not free. He is not moving in the forest. His strength, his ability, his power is locked inside a cage and a room, place in the zoo, and that is the where he is kept. But he is locked in a concrete cell. That this is the most appropriate. He is kept in a cell, concrete cell. His strength behind bars. Strength is behind the bars of the cell. His power is there. Stalking the length of his cage. What is he doing? He's just walking up and down on his velvet paws, stalking the length of his cage, ignoring visitors. He's still, full of power, although he's not able to show. His power is behind the bars of the cage, but he has pride in himself. So he is not bothered who is watching him. He is ignoring all the visitors that have come to have a look at the tiger, but just still walking quietly, but he is full of anger inside the cage, inside the cell. Now you can imagine a animal like tiger, who is supposed to be so powerful, is kept behind the bars in a cage, in a cell, and is not able to move freely, just stalking in the cell up and down, ignoring the visitors, not enjoying his life, because the place of a tiger is forest, his natural habitat, not the one that we have made, the one that we have created for them. No. Even if we are made to stay in a confined place, we will not like. Now only when we are facing the lockdown, how many of us are actually, feeling so free? Just because we have to take care of ourselves, we are keeping ourselves indoors. Otherwise, we all are, whenever we get chance, when we are free to move around, we do our daily things. But if you are kept inside a cage, inside a cell, what will happen? Same thing happens to the tiger. Tiger is so powerful. He is the king. He is known as the king, and now he is kept behind the bars. You can imagine the situation. Angry but not able to express. He hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars. What happens? He hears the voice of at night, and what is the voice? The voice of the patrolling cars, the cars in which the zoo authorities are taking round the zoo area so that they can see that every animal is safe and sound, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. What does the tiger do? He just looks from his cage, from his cell only, at the bright stars with his brilliant eyes, with his brilliant bright eyes. He looks at the stars doing nothing. He is so full of, he is so much in chains that he is not able to act as a tiger does. Its only thing is that he can just keep on moving inside the cell and live his life, and let other people come and enjoy, have a look at the live tiger. Okay? So, the rhyming scheme of this poem is ABCD. When you read, you will know rhymes. Okay? And one more figure of speech is assonance. Where vowel sound is repeated. His vivid stripes. So it's a beautiful poem where you can come across the beautiful images and beautiful description of the tiger in the zoo, and understand what happens when someone does not stay in its natural habitat. We will not be happy if we are made to stay in a forest, because we are civilized people. We need to be in our own society, same as the tigers. They are supposed to stay in the world of greens, and they should be allowed to do. Let us not capture them and keep them in a place where it does not suit them at all. So with this I end the poem, A Tiger in the Zoo. I hope you have understood the poem. Read the poem again and again so that you have the better understanding. Go through the notes and try to understand the main things that I have told you, the main value points of the poem, and you must remember that we must all try to save the tigers, because there are only few tigers left, and let them enjoy their own life in the forest of greens, in the world of greens. Thank you. Keep safe and study till we meet again. Thank you.